Hi folks, I hope this one is not on YouTube. It was. I hope I removed it some time ago. I took 200 off of the earlier ones. I was really feeling my way with watercolours. I don't really like that. But we had a holiday in this house here, years and years ago, 35 years ago. 35 years ago? My daughter was 37 years ago. It was in Devon, middle of Devon, Hartley Barton. And I more or less did this one from memory. It's a rubbish piece of painting. But every painting you do brings you closer to your goal or your unreachable goal, because you never ever get as good as you want to be. That's for sure. Now I'm going to do an oil painting. I'm very happy. I've just done one, a small one. Having vowed that I'd never pick up a oil paint tube again. But why I stopped, as most of you know, was that I used a very toxic brush cleaner. And me being stupid, I cleaned the brushes in the brush cleaner and then took the liquid out of the brush in a rag, which I held under my nose. And I did this for 2 or 3 days, and then I just went really, the breathing got very bad. It's okay now, and I've really checked the walnut oil that I'm using, the alkyd walnut oil, is definitely not toxic. It's not toxic. Don't drink it. Now what I want to do is another go of I love this type of view, this meadow. It's an idealised version of Maldenhall Park. I don't paint the houses behind the trees. I just love the wetlands. Look from the boardwalk. They put a boardwalk through this National Trust park. It was a country estate in its prime, with a lovely lodge, lovely house, manor house. Well, sort of house had weddings in now. And the boardwalk, it was put in a couple of years ago, through the grassland there, thatching type grass, bulrushes, that sort of thing, and it is absolutely beautiful for us suburbanites living in so much built up area. It's an oasis for artists and bird walkers and just people just to enjoy a little bit of countryside in a heavily populated area. Although we do have lovely lots of parks. Well, we have lots of housing estates as well. So what I'm going to do is just to put in. I want to cover the ground as quickly as I can. I'm using cadmium yellow deep, cadmium yellow pale, cadmium red, ultramarine, burnt sienna and black. Black is my favourite colour, I've got to say that. So I'll put in a meadow. Well, I'll put in the background first. So plenty of oil and plenty of yellow, black, make wonderful green. So we'll have it fairly low. This is just a bit of Fabriano, but it doesn't matter what it is. We'll have some fun with it. But you need, I need to do a dark horizon so that the grass can counter change against it. Make the tree, I'm trying to make all the trees different. There's a bit of red in there. All the way across, and I'll add trees to it. Not in the right place, like geographically correct, but a bit of orangey green. So that's that basic bit of grassland highlighted. Well, not highlighted. What am I talking about? I'll just do a sort of an orangey colour here. Look. This will all mix it. I will change it. I hope it dries in quite well. Right, let's just think of that. Okay, that gets annoying after a while. I'll add some yellow ochre, I think, if I can find the yellow ochre. Yep. So we've got just a little bit. So we've got 3 yellows, 1 red, 1 blue, 1 very dark red, which is the burnt sienna and black, and of course white. But I just love meadows. And why shouldn't we? We can add flowers, all sorts of. We can invent all sorts of new species of meadow flowers that don't actually exist yet. Some of that will be uneven, where some of the heads of the grass will be higher than the others. And we'll get some lovely. Oh, I'm so happy doing this. Just want to get this ground covered. And as we're coming into the wetland or the water, it's probably 2 or 3 feet deep in parts, but ankle deep in other parts. We've been looking out for frog spawns. I do a bike ride through here every week with my ageing friends, and we have a great time. We don't go fast or anything, we're too old for that. But we do enjoy our bit of countryside, and our cup of tea, our banter, the people we meet on the journey, the dogs we nearly fall over or run over. I remember one incident several months ago with the dogs in a park. And my friend stopped in front of me, and I didn't see them because I was busy avoiding a white dog, a big white dog, and I crashed into my pal in front. I fell off, hurt my wrist, and fell off. And the white dog I tried to avoid, that caused the crash, started to lick my face when I was lying down, to add insult to injury. I'm not. What you can't do is paint. Well, you can. There's an artist that I know of who does paint with almost a single strand brush and paints every blade of grass, every leaf. And she's very good at it. Not my thing. I'm rough and ready. Rougher the better me. So now I'm just doing this dark here, so we've got some dark to counter change the reflection of the sky with. I will try and put some water in this, but just using black and burnt sienna. Just coming into the shadow bit. Okay, let's finish that off. That's drying in now, soaking in. Oh, my cup of tea. I'll mix a bit of blue and a bit of burnt sienna. Because this will give me a good counter change, I hope, for wildflowers sticking up. This view is only an approximate, it does not exist. I'm making this up, but based on my experience of painting many versions of it. So it's improvised. But this is the advantage of keeping a record of everything you've painted, and I put all my, well, the videos, ever since I had this laptop that I use, about 4 years old, everything I have videoed on for YouTube and now Patreon is in my timeline. There's nearly 1,100 photographs in there, and I can work from those. That's my body of work. That's my reference material. Now, not my load of photographs of reality. All right, let's get into the sky now. Which brush should I use for that? That one's, yeah, that one's right. Where's my rag? Where's my oily rag? Here it is on the floor. So we'll have a bit of blue in this one. So blue, white. I'm using Griffin Alkyd titanium white with some ordinary Winton student quality white. Helps it all dry quicker. Just want to cover the canvas, kill the canvas. Right. Talk among yourselves. My battery's running low. I need to get the charger. Right, sorry about that, folks. I've got to plug me little thing in the tablet. It's very, very useful. Right. That's it. Oh. I hope you fast forwarded through that. Okay, carry on. my stock in trade cloud is maybe I spoke too soon, is the blue mix with the cadmium red. Yeah. And just go over the tops of all those trees. Then we can sort of lost and found. So I've more or less covered it all now. Right, making progress now. So there's a lesson, don't throw your failures or the ones you don't like away, paint over them. Watercolour paper, although this one is only about 20% rag, it's still a very, very lovely surface to paint on. A Constable there, Turner, they painted on watercolour paper, although that would have been 100% rag. Alright. I might not even paint these as reeds, I just might paint those as paint just a meadow with the longer grass just sort of showing along the top there. Right, I've got lots of nice colours on my bit of greaseproof paper which I'm using, we just throw awayable afterwards. Right, let's get some more of that clean the brush. See, I'm only cleaning the brush with a cloth, squeezing out all the paint that I can without pulling the bristles out. So blue and red and white. still showing through that tree, so we'll thicken up with a bit of colour. I don't know why there's something on that paper there. Oh, I wiped that knife on my apron, on my pinny. Keep that colour going. I like this nice cloud colour. Just the clouds just going all over the place. Right, I want some blue back in there now. Blue and white. Darker there, I think. The oil. Obviously, the oil helps the flow of of the paint. A bit on the other side here, I think. Right, now we'll put some light back in that now. So I'm using a bit of yellow ochre in the sky and a touch of burnt yellow now, just because I like them. Soften. This is very near the tram lines that we cross over at the end of our sort of run in the park, this particular park, on our way to Merton Abbey for our cup of tea. And if there's a tram coming, we line up and count to three, we wave at the tram driver and see what sort of response we get. Usually we'll get a thumbs up, or sometimes they'll sound the horn, so we've had a result. We're like little kids when we go out. So, little things please little minds, right? And bigger fools watch on. I know some of you struggle with skies. I do as well. But just a repeat Turner. Make your skies of silver, not of lead. And sooner or later you'll see a sky similar to one that you've painted. So be encouraged. But don't get impatient with yourself. It takes a long time to learn to do all this. There aren't any shortcuts. It's all practice and doing it, just doing it. But there'll always be somebody better than you. Don't I know? And better than me. There are artists that I love to watch. Got a little bit of red in there. Just right, I want to get back some of that cloud colour now. Some oil. That's quite a nice colour, isn't it? Just blending all that. You don't have to, of course. You can paint it in thick impasto, which is lovely. So there's a bit of impasto there, just to break the monotony of it. Try and cover those trees underneath. Well, that's quite an interesting sky, isn't it? Right, let's get back and do some tea drinking. I've got a brush that I do love. It's just this one. It's all worn out. The bristles. Now, I'd say the bristles. If you clean your bristles with white spirit, as I used to, or white spirit mainly, they become brittle and hard and stiff. But if you use paraffin, kerosene, they stay lovely and soft. But I'm not using either of those because I'm using Swarfiga. But that one has gone sort of bristly, it's gone hard. I just want to get that sorted out there. Bit of red. So it's just showing through a little bit. Right, so I'm going to put in those trees again now. So nice yellowy greens. Got a bit of cloud shadow in. I mean, sorry, bit of blue and red. Yeah, I can still see some of those trees there. Blue and red again. Trying to keep the trees that they will more or less be even, but you don't want to make them even. It'll just make for monotony. But you need your dark there, your shadow, and also you can put a couple of figures against it. We've got lots of light yellows in that. I like putting dark reds in because it enhances the greens. Now that's a bit shiny there because it's reflecting the light coming in from the window. Okay, let's just get that down there a bit. I can feel this drying now. Right, let go for a minute. We'll start working on the meadow grass, the idealised, stylized stuff. Now, before I put the heads of that grass in, I'm going to sort of work on this. So, bit of oil, bit of sienna, bit of raw sienna, ochre. Just build the brightness. Oh, we can have some greens in there. So I changed my thinking about these things as I go along. Well, I was going to put water in there. I still might put some water in there, like puddles. Oh, I should have took my tea. Nice and warm colour there. Oh, just adding different grasses, different colours. Bit of shadow in there. Which you get. Well, but because it's always lovely and oily, sort of nice things happen. And this lovely brush. Nice bit of shadow area. They all end up different than, I've never done this before. But I'm not painting anything like as a portrait, with sort of great calligraphy. I'm just using the bristles of the brush to make a passage, so to speak. Now I know not everybody's going to like me doing the oils, but that's coming on quite nicely there. Let's have a bit of yellow and a bit of red, a bit of orangey. Oh, here. Prince Louis, the baby's name, the royal baby. So I think the favourite was Arthur, wasn't it? And that, oh, someone's going to make a bit of money, usually the bookies. Okay, let's go over that. So let that dry for a little bit. But literally the oil is almost running down the page. But I can see the shape of that tree under there. I'll do something about that. Let's get in a bit of don't know why that is. It might be that the watercolour, the pigment in the watercolour, has affected the surface of the paper, and I don't know. Bit of dry brush there. See, that's sort of dried in now. The oil hasn't dried yet, it's just soaked into the thin paper. Take out little bits I don't like there. It's all nice and subtle. Right, let's get back to the job in hand, which was this meadow area. I had a bit of paint on the brush that did those dark bits there. That's just the aftermath of the problem. Right, so yellow ochre and white. Maybe a bit of burnt sienna. These might be scrapes from the fingernail when I did the watercolour. Now just putting some high up. Look, just showing some of those sticking up. I don't want too many. Now, while it's still drying off, I'm just going to go back over the trees now and put some variations in the colours. So we'll have the yellow. Got a bit of black in there. Got to put in some higher trees, like tall ones coming from the grasslands, and they could still be. Well, I don't know. I can't really well do winter, can I? Not with these trees. some shadow in, or back in. Okay, but that's all different, isn't it? Now, using my little brush here, we'll put in some higher ones. That's right, and then we've got some lighter leaves in there. Got to get some light. The black is very strong. Right, that's one. Let's put another one in, but a bit lower down. Just a okay, so that would be another try. I'm going to put some rigger work in there. I can still see these scratches. They'll probably, well, I do have some proper varnish, but I'm just going to go over this area here that's and warm it up a bit. Still haven't got my tea. Yeah, the scratches in the paper. Oh well, that's there's a filled the cracks a bit. Oh, I didn't realise I'd done that. I might have chosen a different bit of paper. Right, let's get in some more colours in here now. Some warmer greens. I'm using the cadmium dark now, or deep. Right, the green. I'm going to put some shadow back in this. Look, you can see all those scratches. Oh, that's a blow there. Well, let's get a bit of shadow in there now. It's great fun doing this. I know it's boring for you, but you can fast forward. But I've got to finish. Undulations in the ground, clumps. This is just a mixture of blue and red. See a lovely worn, well not worn out brush, but a brush that started off its life as a long-haired one of those, but got badly treated with the brush cleaner, the paraffin. Not paraffin, the white spirit. It only happens over a period of time. It's not sort of one dip will ruin your brush. Right, okay. Now put some wild flowers in there now. Got the poppies. Got to have the poppies. No, I'm not drawing the poppies, I'm just stippling them on. And we'll have little blue ones. Bit of oil. Bit of white. Sort of cornflowers. The thing is, what you put on the paper in oil stays there. I know the oil will soak in and give a matte finish in parts of it, but you can rely on it. It won't merge into other colours. Then we'll have some white ones. They always go down well. Try not to make a pattern, otherwise that'll look a bit. And there's some yellow ones. Get some poppies back in here. I mean, a bit of your paint will blend if you brush it. Okay. My cold tea. Oh no, it's ghastly. Right, I'm going to use my rigger. See if I can get it thin enough. What do I want? My stick. Cloth. Bit of dark. I think my dark will be blue and red, or burnt sienna. I use a lot of oil to thin down so that it runs. Alright, for a bit more colouring back in that. and then I'll just anchor the basis of the